I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Entire hour. Are you pouring coffee? Daniel, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
told me that you're 2 minutes away. When are you going to be
In
here?
like five minutes.
5 minutes?
Daniel?
Mm-hmm. Oh! Ladies, we're ready.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Congratulations. When are you due?
Good day with Daniel Bennett.
Good day.
Welcome back. Today our special guest is Julieann Hartman. Very excited to have you here today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, but could you share a little bit about yourself and what you're doing?
Yeah, well, first of all, being up here at 𝗊𝗄𝗃 Bible College, this is what I call my Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been born and raised in Los Angeles, California. And I was one of 3 girls, and I've never left. I've never lived anywhere else. I met my husband in 1990, and he's a cartoonist, animator, and I knew nothing about that. I worked in entertainment, but not, who knows about animation unless you really like it.
Right.
So I really knew nothing about that. So it's been fun learning about that whole process.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him. He's made me laugh my whole life. He's my best friend. We have 2 amazing daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And I got sick in 2008. And so through this ministry, Andrew Wommack pointed me to the healer.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I'm healed today. I've been healed since 2014 completely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
And you do
great
healing
things have
ministry
happened.
now, too.
Yes, I do. It's called Healing Journeys Today, and it's on YouTube. And it was just one of those things where I didn't plan it. It was God gave me the model. He did all of it to have live teaching 7 days a week on healing, because I was the one searching.
Yeah.
And I know what it was like to be desperate of trying to find something, to have someone give a testimony of something that I could relate to that I was experiencing.
Yeah.
And so the Healing Journeys, why did I do Healing Journeys today? I don't know. But Healing Journeys is what Andrew has done, all the testimonies. I saw so many on there. I was like, wait, like Nikki Weller, she was oh my gosh, we had so many of the same symptoms. And so that was just life-changing for me. So that's why I know God said, what did you need? And I'm like, well, I needed to see something 24/7, how I could believe for myself that I could also get healed.
I think that consistency is huge. Where it's hearing a good message and you can re-listen to the same good message over and over, but I think having fresh content every day.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
and all of our teachers. It's not just me. I have many other teachers that have been healed of crazy things. Like mine looks like nothing compared to some of theirs. Like Mike Hesch with a 5-pound tumor, on the outside of his chest. And just the teachers are incredible. Colleen Yamarino. We have Nicole Marbach. Cindy Mazes, we have Allie Johnson, like I said, we have Jeremiah Class, Mike Hesch, and it's just been really incredible that the response, and it's just raw. It's like, it's just, I'm in my house and everybody else is in their house.
Right.
So it's
So
not
you're
like
zooming in with people.
there's no polish.
Yeah, kind of like this.
There's no sets.
Yeah.
It's just, it's my house. And it's so funny. I've told people sometimes I get on and, I hit my go live on YouTube and I see my face and I'm like, I didn't put my makeup on my right eye. What am I going to do? Like, I'm stuck now. It's live. Or I'm missing an earring or something, you know. But it doesn't matter. People are responding so well because it's everyday people experiencing so many issues, physical issues, and they just want to be ministered to.
And if you do forget, I think it's popular now to get ready while you film yourself.
I probably, that would probably hold like a makeup part.
Pretend you did it on
aspect of
purpose.
Yeah,
Just put your makeup on the first half of the show.
I'm going to try that.
Get a
I don't
lot
think
more.
the men would like it so much, but the women be like, oh, I can relate.
It'll go viral. I think,
Yeah.
I think any married man's used to talking to their wife while she's getting ready, so it could work.
It
I don't know,
could. That's really good.
I'm a connoisseur of pop culture,
Okay.
apparently, at least compared to everybody here. So,
Yes, I think so.
yeah. And so people can find your content on YouTube.
On YouTube, Facebook, we go
yeah.
live there every day, like I said, 3 times a day with one of our teachers, and then we do live conferences as well.
Awesome.
So we've got all kinds of wonderful things
If
happening.
people look you up, they can also find what you do at Healing is Here, the conference at
Oh yeah,
Karis.
we just, that was an amazing
Yeah,
experience.
I want to hear more about your donkey, getting kicked by a
Oh
donkey
my
story.
God.
That was pretty funny. So we've got a couple of videos, and then we'll go to more questions and things like that.
Okay,
But-
great.
So I have no idea what we have for you.
Uh-oh.
And Sarah's not here right now, so I can't make fun of her.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Not telling me you have a golden retriever.
He underestimated the puddle.
Come off there, you're gonna sink. Oh God.
Just gonna scooch in right here if you don't mind. Oh, shit.
Wait, they disappeared.
Yeah, you have to do a head count when they come back in.
Oh my gosh, those are the best.
Yeah, those are good. Those are pretty good. I want dogs, and my wife says no, she has veto power.
Okay.
So
We have kids, so you don't need dogs.
yeah, but I was like, I think the kids would really enjoy having an animal.
They would.
I grew up with a dog, but it was a tiny dog. And so I really want to compensate for that and get the biggest dog I can possibly get. So like a Great Pyrenees or a Great Dane or something. Something with great in the title. But no, that's pretty funny. It does look a little bit like kids.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
You know what? I love those kind of videos. Last year, I broke my wrist playing pickleball, which was so stupid. But anyway, but they say that is like the #2 sport right now, where it's like multi-millions of dollars now. On
I hear about it all the time. I've never
injuries.
played it.
It is so much
for
fun.
the injuries, yeah.
So much fun. But it wasn't even that. My hamstring, it had nothing to do with the game. My hamstring popped. And so it sent me into a fence like this, and this hand went back here. But anyway, because of that, when I would, so I'm getting to the video, is so I would go to the doctor and she had to do the x-ray and stuff, the waiting room with all the dog videos. And it takes your mind off of what they're going to do to you.
Smart.
Yeah, so you're like going, laughing, it's
play
so
fun,
cute,
yeah.
it's so fun. And then you go into the room and you're like, ah!
You have to re-break your arm.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they did, and that was worse than childbirth than anything I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I tell my wife stuff like that all the time. If something happens to me, I'm like, I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure this is worse than childbirth.
That would be no.
There's no way you can tell me I'm wrong because you don't know what this thumb feels like right now. Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, she doesn't like that joke.
No, I don't blame her.
Awesome. So let's see what the next one is.
Okay.
Maybe cats. Let's see.
Listen to me. Like I do this all the time, and if I go out at the house or to the door, Matthew has his toys, and then Matthew has all his toys.
Okay, but I have to yell at you guys.
Linda, listen. Linda, listen.
Okay, what?
Like everything they do at this house, you can't trust everything at Grandma's house.
Okay,
Okay, then what?
then you're not listening to me.
Then you're not listening to me.
I asked you not to do something.
Linda, but listen to me. Look at, if we do something, if you get that bird thing off, you're gonna break it.
Okay, but I'm letting you know
But
that you cannot. No,
Linda, lick it.
You're not listening to me.
Linda,
Listen to me now. Listen to me now.
Listen to me.
No, you're not listening. I said no cupcakes, and you try to get cupcakes, and you try to ask Grandma.
Linda,
Didn't you?
Linda, lick it. If we do something right out this, if you get close up, you can't even get them. You're gonna burn your butt.
I haven't seen that one probably in years. That's a funny one.
That is so cute.
Hey.
I love that. It's like, Linda.
I like how you can tell how the way kids talk probably reflects how they hear their parents talking to each other.
Oh,
It's like,
definitely.
Linda, yeah.
That's why whatever habits you have that you don't like, your children will show you.
Yeah, my kids, because they learned the tricks. So my daughter's be like, Daddy, wait. I just need, I need you to listen to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I didn't expect that to work. So then they're like, oh no, I need to say something. The other day with my boy who just turned 5, he was saying, I was like, tell me the truth. So something happened. He was like, I didn't do it. And I was like, tell me the truth. It'll go better for you if you tell me the truth. And he says, okay, the truth is, I did everything.
Oh my gosh, how cute.
Everything you suspect I have done, and so then you're like, how do I keep a straight face?
I know. I used to tell my kids, like, if you do this, I'm going to wash your mouth out with soap and water.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, please don't ever do it, because I cannot wash your mouth out with soap and
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to get myself to do that.
Yeah.
But thank God they never did.
Yeah, my parents did that to me once when I was a kid. Now this was in the 80s, so parenting was a bit more wild back then.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, this is the bar of soap. It's like wipe it on your tongue, and you're like, ugh. So I tell my wife, like, we have to be careful what our threats are.
I know.
Because then if we have to follow through, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like just the other day with my 2-year-old, it was one of those things that he wouldn't eat his dinner. So we're like, okay, then that's your breakfast tomorrow.
Oh.
And then, but all our other ones would cave. But the next day he's like, I'm still not eating it. And so then later on, I'm still not eating it. And finally we got him to eat it. And then after that, it was like feast time. And so then he's like, and I want that, and I want, like, we're like, once you finish this, you can have anything, you can have the rest, all these other wonderful things. And so he ate it, and he's like, and I want that. And he ate about 3 meals all at once.
Oh my God.
But yeah, strong wills.
Well, see, now this is the thing. You want that later in life, but you're going to have to deal with it now. Like you want that kind of person, and that's how our daughters, where it's like, you want that.
Yeah.
You just have to learn how to, work around it.
Yeah, it's a pro and a con, because you're like, I don't want to break this.
No.
Because this is how God made you. So it's not my job to break that.
Right.
But how do I steer it the right direction, right? So I tell him, like, especially my boy, he loves to outsmart us. Like my daughter, so with her, it's if I'd say, did you flush the toilet or something? Or did you go to the bathroom? She'd say, yes. And I'd say, I'm going to go check. And if you did, I'll know. And she'd just be like, oh no, I repent, or she'd run to the bathroom. My boy, I'd say, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to check and I'll know. And he'd run upstairs and flush it.
Okay.
And get rid of the evidence.
Yep.
So he'd be kind of like, that way you think I went, and there's no proof if I did or didn't. And so I'd tell him, like, like, God made you smart. Use it for good, not for evil.
Exactly.
Because you're 2 and you're already smarter than me.
Is he like you then?
They're both, it used to be, we could see like, oh, she's like me and he's like my wife or something. But as they got older, they're just their own people.
They're just their own people.
Yeah, we see similarities.
But it's funny because later in life as adults, you'll be like, oh yeah, my daughter is me. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I tell my youngest one, well, she's not so young, she's 26, but I'm like, Sophia, I know how to handle you because you're me. Yeah. And so I say to myself, Julianne, how would you handle this right now? So I know what to say and to do, because she is me. And you want that. Yeah. But while they're growing up, I'll tell you, my daughters were just amazing. Now they might have been terrified of me. So that's probably why they were so amazing. My daughter Sophia goes, Mom, I had a healthy fear of you.
Yeah, I thought I would have more of that with my kids, but I just am too.
Are you too passive?
Not passive. I just see their point of view too much.
Okay.
And so I put myself in their shoes, and I'm like, because like 2 years old, and I'm like, that is a good point. Right. I didn't clearly explain. Like I'm here, like I'm like a very compassionate judge, and they're like me because they like to become lawyers, like Linda. So like, Daddy, wait, let me explain what happened, and I'm like, well, it's a fair point, right? And stuff like that, and so they're not that scared of me because they know that if they try and make a logical defense, right, that I'll listen, and so so we need a little more of the fear.
Whatever you do now, you will have later in life.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that these years are really like not that you're not going to be this terrible, dictator at home, but meaning that whatever you allow now, you will get later. So you'll get the fruit of it later. So what kind of fruit do you want?
Yeah.
And just even like in that negotiation stuff, I tell my girls, like, there is no negotiation. Or we see other kids and I'd be like, you see that? If you ever do that in my house, you're not going to like the consequences.
Yeah. I have told my kids, if they do something and they try to negotiate, I'll say, I do not negotiate with terrorists. And they're like, what? And my wife cracks up.
I think my husband, I always made my husband out to be this terrible person, like in this way. You've never seen Daddy mad. So just know that if I can't take care of this and I've got to call Daddy in, you've never seen him like that. And they'd be like, well, we don't ever want to see him like that. He was so not that. He was like, why are you so mean to them? Why don't you just let them have the popsicle? Why did you ground them? And I'm like, stop it. Go in the bedroom. If you're going to be upset about this, don't let them see. But we have to let them know that there's consequences to this. And he was like, but you're too hard.
Yeah.
I put the fear of him, but he was so not that. And so later in life, they would just laugh, go, we thought Daddy was going to kill us, right?
Yeah. I know, my kids have never seen it because it doesn't work if my wife is like, wait till Daddy gets home. Because I tell my wife, when I get home, I don't want them to be scared. I want them to be excited, So I was like, I'm more, when I get home, make sure they're not watching TV. Because I used to go home and the kids would come running up to me and be like, Daddy, and give me a hug.
Yeah.
And if some days that doesn't happen, I'm like, what's going on? Oh, hi, Daddy, we're watching TV. And so I'm like, turn it off before I get here.
Yeah.
Half an hour before I get there. But I can't do the whole, when Daddy gets home, you'll be.
Well, I did that.
Yeah.
So
it worked.
You put the fear of Dad.
You never had to actually follow through.
No, that's what I'm saying. Thank God for that.
Yeah. No, my kids, they call us on our bluffs. So it's like, you don't want to see what happens. Like, actually, I do.
Oh, boy.
So, strong wills. I love it. It's going to come in handy later.
It really
if we guide it correctly.
Yeah, and some of the things that they're doing now, they will become later. Like just little things that they're interested in. And I saw that along the way. I was like, oh, I see why now she really liked whatever. It might have been playing with a silly toy or something, but the way that she would play with it, I would see now where that kind of fit in.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. That's why I love when parents can engage with their kids because you miss that if you don't, if you've got so much junk going on in your life and you just cannot focus on your kids at all, you're going to miss those little things. And those are so precious to see oh, okay, there's a pattern there. And you're like, and now they get older and they're, becoming adults. You're going, oh, well, that started back then, just
so many things. Like, honestly, I see distinct personalities from the womb. Or even just like my daughter, if we were watching an action movie or if she was hearing Pastor Lawson preach, she'd start jumping. Like just in the womb. And then even after, she would just see the same stuff, she'd get excited about it. But even with her, I noticed the first time she did something that made us laugh, she was 2-3 weeks old, I could see the look on her face like, I just made them laugh. And I've seen that stick with, and so when you notice it, and you can start drawing it out. So you say, you're so good at making people laugh. Because I saw that look on her face, I just made Mommy and Daddy laugh. And so now she starts to become a comedian.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to start doing that more and more and more. And then she gets better at it. And you can miss some of those things. And it might take them longer to discover some of their strengths if we don't notice it and kind of point it out.
Absolutely. So then we, as the parents, when they're so young, we're trying to fit them into what we want them to do. And so if you're not watching them, it's like you're trying to mold them into something and they're like, but I don't really have an interest in that, but you're doing it anyway, but I never did that. I was like, okay, well, what do you guys want to do? Because I wanted to use their personalities into the things that I know they would take with them, in life. And so our daughter, Sophia, she was the same way. She would do these belly laughs that just wherever I would be, strangers would just start laughing with her because she'd laugh so hard. And she's always done that. She's always made me laugh. And even when I was sick, that girl would make me laugh. And it was just so sweet because she knew that Mom needed to laugh a few times. But she would do the silliest things and make me laugh.
Yeah, with my wife, she'll correct the kids sometimes. And I'll look at my wife and I'll be like, you realize they're just like you. You're correcting them for things that they're learning from you.
Exactly.
It's fun. My boy, he just turned 5. When he was 1 or 2, he wasn't strong enough, say for example, to open the baby gates. And so he was very mechanical. So like my daughter was great at like games and dancing and music, stuff like that. And he was more like trying to understand how things worked.
Yeah.
And so he could figure out how things worked, but he wasn't strong enough to do it. And so they teamed up, and he became like the mastermind and she was the muscle. And so they just, we had to just get rid of a lot of rules, because we're like, he can figure it out and tell her what to do, and now she can do it.
That's
now.
amazing.
Yeah, nothing's safe in the house.
Right.
So then a few more ER visits when falling downstairs, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's when, I believe that's why I had girls. I didn't have to ever go to the ER for anything.
It's very different. It's
Yeah.
very different. Yeah, because we had a girl first, and then we had a boy, and we're like, my goodness, they're stronger and not as obedient.
Yes.
And he'll jump off of anything, you know, all that kind of stuff. So
Yes.
my daughter, it's like tea parties and
Yeah.
Mary Poppins. With my boys, it's
Dance
Captain America.
parties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, dance parties. So you're sharing some things about yourself that I might not know.
I know.
And you have a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Yes, Taekwondo.
So can we fight right now? Just kidding. I've thought.
We could do self-defense.
I've seen kung fu movies. You know? So what interested you in that?
Well, I actually was an actress, and so, well, let's say this, a struggling actress, and that's all I wanted to be when I was a kid. And so I was, this is in 1990, I was doing a lot of different, like, theater and that kind of stuff, and little bit parts and walk-ons and stuff. But I had an opportunity to do this movie, and so I went for the audition. They went, great, we love you, but can you fight? And I'm like, I can street fight, but I don't, like, I used to beat my sisters up.
Hair, yeah.
Yeah, and they go, no, we need like a choreographed fight scene. And I was like, okay. So I went to my agent. I'm like, hey, I have to do a fight scene. They want to film a fight scene. And she goes, well, do you know how to fight? And I'm like, no. So we got into the yellow pages, as anybody remembers yellow pages. Yeah. Of course not. But it said, so we looked for a martial arts studio, and the first one was Billy Blank's World Karate Center. And Billy Blanks was the 𝗙𝗿𝗃𝗀𝗃 creator.
Right.
I don't know if anybody probably never knew.
No, I remember.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just knew from commercials and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was before that big infomercial came out, and so I went there, made an appointment, and I was not saved. This is BC, before Christ. And so he said, I go, well, I have to, can you like film it? Like, what can we do? I need you to make me look really good. And so we did. We spent that day and then a half a day the next day. And then that afternoon, I was doing the audition for the fight scene. And so I never got the part, but I never left Billy Blank's World Karate Center, which turned into the World Training Center, which became the big 𝗙𝗍𝗋 thing. And so I was his personal assistant after that for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my whole life like completely changed. And so he taught me martial arts. What I loved is he taught it through the word. But no one really knew it until you became a Christian. You're like, oh, I see where this is coming from. And so it wasn't just like the whole Eastern philosophy thing. It was really based on more of the word. And so, yeah, so I was a 3rd degree with him, and it was incredible. I don't do it anymore. I haven't done it in a long time, but it was something that when Butch and I first got together, he was like, you're always at the karate studio. I'm like, well, then do it with me. So he got to a blue belt.
Wow.
But we were always like nervous about his hands because he draws. It's like, that's our livelihood. So if anybody breaks your hand, I'll kill him. Right? So yeah, because we would do like break boards and all that stuff. I'm like, don't use your right hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it really came in handy because it really taught me a lot about my surroundings. It taught me how to like almost have ears or eyes in the back of my head of just like I could really walk in a room and really discern things just because of like how he taught us. I never had to use it on the street.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it you enjoyed it more for personal development or sparring or?
I loved to fight. Oh my gosh, that was like my favorite. Fighting, and then like doing the katas and stuff. That was more like a dance kind of a thing, and then self-defense. Like I really did love all of it. But I really learned so much. I learned how to be disciplined. I had no discipline in my life before. And when I got there, I was a cussing, worldly person, like, smoking cigarettes, all of that. And so I really learned discipline. Like I had to. And it was finally something that I did. It wasn't, I was raised, in a home where my parents were like known in the real estate industry and the construction, all that. And this was the first thing that was like, no one knows in my family how to do this. this is me, and I can't be done for me. And that's another thing. I was always the one that had everybody do my homework for me, and I was terrible at school. And I'd cheat on tests and stuff, you know. I'd sit next to my best friend and look at his paper, and
Right.
so I never did something on my own. And this was something I found was like, wait, I have to do. If I don't do this, I'll get killed, you know.
Yeah.
So it really changed my life. It really did. It taught me a lot about myself and discipline.
Yeah. See, I've always wanted to learn one, but I never. I grew up watching like action movies and Jackie Chan movies and stuff like that.
Bruce Lee.
And cartoons, like Dragon Ball and stuff. Yeah, Bruce Lee. And so I always thought like martial arts are crucial. And I grew up and I realized that you hardly ever have to fight people in the street.
Yeah.
You know, you watch these movies and you're kind of like, this is going to be a really big part of life. I need to learn. I did take, so mixed martial arts weren't a big thing when I was growing up.
Right.
It was more just like karate and judo and taekwondo, stuff like that. But I did go to a mixed martial art class as an adult. This was probably 20 some years ago. But we went to class and lesson 1, so I'm brand new, didn't even have a uniform yet. And they said, here's how to do a spinning kick.
Oh.
And I was like, I've seen enough movies to know that you shouldn't start with a spinning kick.
No.
You should start with like how to breathe and how to stand and how to fall.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm no pro at this, but I don't think I should be doing a spinning kick. But I tried, and I had socks on because I was just in jeans because I just walked in for the free sample lesson.
Oh my God.
And I had socks on the mat, and so I tried to do the spinning kick, and I slipped and wiped out, and I hurt my back. And so then for like 6 months, I was like, so that was my martial art career.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That someone would do that.
Yeah. So that wasn't the most reputable
No,
school, kind of like
no.
what you went to.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, that's one thing about Billy. Like, he really taught us like our body mechanics of it. It wasn't just do this, do that, and that's why we would have people that would, come in and then they'd say like, well, there's probably someone better, in the other town. They'd go and they'd come back with a horrible injury, and we're like, why did you leave? Like, a lot of the kickboxers, when they are teachers, not all of them, I don't want to discredit all of them, but a lot of them are going to teach you how to fight in the ring. Well, I am, think about it, a 30-something-year-old mom. Do I need to learn how to fight in the,
Right.
in the as a match? No,
Right.
Professionally, no.
You're going to tournaments.
Yeah, but you can teach me different, body mechanics so that I can, and then it's fun too. But I will tell you that just recently, a friend of mine, she was on a hike, had her little baby in that little baby case thing or the thing, and she was up like doing just on a trail, and some guy ran after her and tried to take her baby.
Oh, wow.
This just happened, and the little bit that she knew, she got herself out of that situation, and so she works out with Billy, and so she was like, Billy, there are many times I've probably rolled my eyes. Do I have to do that again? Do we have to keep doing the same thing? She was like, thank you, because that actually saved her and her baby's life.
Yeah, wow, that's
She
crazy.
knew what to do.
Yeah, I think I just have to go into Hulk smash mode. Like, I don't know what to do, but I'm doing something.
Well, always know this: you kick their knees in, right, and you take away their breath. So you punch them here. This is just self-defense real quick. Because remember, if you can't see or breathe, that you're going to go like this. And when you do that, that gives you enough time to get away. So you poke their eyes out with your fingers, and you punch them in the neck, right? So because kicking in the groin, men actually like that at times.
We've been all and then they watch your healing show, and then so parenting and
so
how
I
to take
beat them up
someone
and then
out.
I heal them.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay,
So well, just in case someone here is attacked, now they know what to do.
Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, we definitely it's very organic. Okay, well, that's all the time we have for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
All right, bye-bye.